Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're moving on to the next chapter, which is birth number 2. Birth number 2 is all about the energy of the moon. This is a lunar energy, so this is the polar opposite to number 1, which is all about the sun, the more masculine energy. The moon is a feminine energy that gives you the ability to be very intuitive, imaginative, and you have a very strong mental acumen. The number 1 people were very voracious in the sense that they were aggressive towards life. They like to exercise a lot of power and control. The number 2 is more on the other tangent, where they accept life, they more go with the flow, but they're able to intuitively understand life to a point where the number 1 person can try, and then if they fail, they actually might get knocked down because that fire might burn out. The number 2, what a lot of people like to overlook, is that these people are like a bamboo tree that can just bend, but they won't actually break. And that's the whole thing, is these guys don't naturally just break just because something bad happens to them. They have a lot of endurance, they have a lot of strong mental acumen to make it and actually get through life. And a lot of people very often overlook this thing with the number 2s and consider the number 2 a weak number. In Chaldean Numerology, they say it for what it is. They say number 2 is considered weak because you guys don't always exercise caution and control and competence when it comes to your emotions. And this leads to you guys not having the best success within your careers and within even personal or intimate relationships. So you have to be very, very careful with that. But you guys make up for it through your strong imagination, clairvoyance, and intuition. You guys are able to construct very, very great ideas, become famous for your artistic expression, and a lot of the times those things are sort of depressing. It's the darker part of the arts. It's the part of the arts that people like to ignore. It attacks our subconscious or our shadow self, which is everything that the moon represents. So you guys are able to really tap into the reptilian side of people's brain and create that sort of attractiveness. So when you get into things like social media, doing certain types of inventions, anything to do with like the artistic realm, you guys shine very brightly. You guys also can shine very brightly in things like politics and business because of your exponential diplomacy, your ability to compromise and understand and create bridges with people and actually merge groups together. Okay? So I want to just go over those basics again. I've gone over this in other videos, but I want to make sure you guys clearly understand what's happening here and how I'm continuing my channel. With the number 2 birth number, a lot of you guys are DMing me, sending me stuff in the comments about what is birth number, how do I calculate it. This is it. I'm born May 25th, 1994. My birth number is 25. 25 simplifies to 7. So, with that being said, the number 7 is my birth number technically. The 2 and 5 as a compound has a very huge effect because I have the number 2 component and I have the number 5 component that I have to watch out for that then adds to number 7. Okay? So with that being said, you have to always understand that you have a base number for your birth number, but there's a compound effect if you're born after the 10th of any month. But no matter what day you're born in the month, that's going to be your birth number. If you're born the 10th, it's a 1. If you're born the 11th, it's an 11 or a 2. 12th, it's a 3 or, whatever. You get the picture. So if you're born on a specific day, to understand there's no real big calculation. It's just the exact day in which you were born. All right? So now let's get to the real topic of this video. If you're born with a birth number 2 and your life path is 1, you have a very, very bright future ahead of you. The reason being is you're backed up by the moon and the sun. These guys are polar opposites, but they give you the subconscious and conscious portion of your brain in a very exaggerated force. You have the ability of the number 2 to, like I said, be very diplomatic, intuitive, understand people in a very great way. And the life path 1 makes you become the head of whatever it is that you do. You run things, you're the boss. So with that being said, 2 and 1 makes you somebody who could be a very great movie director, anybody that's in movies such as actors, producers, like the executive producer. You guys can also shine very well in politics, and those are the 2 main ones you guys want to look out for. Cinema and politics work extremely well for you guys, and the universe is going to attract it and give you guys a lot of power in that area. Every other thing, you guys can have a lot of power in like the medical field as well, writing, different innovations, but the political field and anything to do with movies specifically will give you guys a lot of great luck. Your lucky gemstones are like cat's eye, moonstone, pearl. Those work very well for you guys because it amplifies your subconscious self and it makes you guys less emotionally volatile. Watch out for your temperament. Also watch out for being excessive with drinks. Moon also relates with liquid with water. So a lot of people that have number 2 as a birth number, even if it's a number 11 or 29, that still counts as 2. You guys tend to over exaggerate your emotions, especially depression, which leads you guys to drinking a lot. And you have to be very, very careful with that, because that can lead to a lot of negative effects and making you ruin your potential. You can also do different mantras according to Chaldean numerology, where you sort of praise the sun. And when you're really looking to make a decision, make it on a day that's particular for the sun. So like the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th, but more so the first 3, the 1st, the 10th, and the 19th. The 28th is a little bit of a weaker number 1. You want to make decisions on those days, because that's when your mental acumen is going to be at its strongest. Your good luck days are going to be any day that's compounding 1 or 2, and also 5 and 6 work very well. The number 9 is okay for you guys as well, but not really the best. It's sort of considered unlucky in Chaldean. So the 9th, the 18th, the 27th is not a day to make decisions, and also the 8th, the 17th, the 26th. The reason for this is the moon's enemy is Mars, which is represented by the number 9. And then for the life path 1, we all know enemy is number 8. That's the dark path versus the light path. So those are the days you're going to maybe experience different hindrances, difficulties, random accidents. So those are the days you want to exercise prudence and caution in everything that you do in order to get the best results. I'm not saying to be that sort of superstitious person where, oh, Friday the 13th, I don't want to walk under a ladder, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is you want to be very, very careful with what you're doing on those days, how your thoughts, words, and deeds are going towards your purpose. It may be taking those days just to slow down and make sure everything is done in a more competent sequence. I'm not saying the universe is working against you in that day, but the planetary influence of that specific day might not be in your favor, okay? Aside from that, your lucky colors for you guys would be specifically be like white, blue, yellow. You guys can also try yellow sapphire as well. It can work okay for you guys, especially if you're having a hard time acquiring a lot of wealth. But you guys are predetermined to achieve name, fame, and a lot of riches. If you follow your lucky careers, you're almost guaranteed it. If you have a good name that vibrates in sequence with your birth and life path number, meaning names that are more so similar with 5 and 6, and also even the number 1, that can work very, very well. I wouldn't recommend having a name number in 2 according to Chaldean numerology, because that's going to enhance your emotional volatility, which can lead you to more creativity. However, there's the risk of you also developing a little bit too much addictions, excessive behavior, and just doing gratuitous things that don't have anything to do with your purpose. So you want to be very, very careful in that regard, just to make sure that you are having a name that you're called, or at least your full name resonates just with what you're doing. Now, if you want any other clue in regards to what you're doing and you have this number sequence, also just look at the vibration of your first name. In Chaldean numerology, they really depict that if you look at the vibration of your first name, that's going to predetermine your destiny and tell you a lot about what you're supposed to do in this life, or what your general status is. So for my astrology guys, if you know your first name vibration in Chaldean numerology, that's like knowing the planetary influence in your 10th house. It's like your midheaven. It's telling you what your status career is going to be like and what sort of role you're going to play in this reincarnation. All right? But that should conclude this video, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, just please leave in the comments for me. And if any of you guys want any personal readings of any sort, numerology and astrology is what I deal with specifically. Palmistry, tarot, all that stuff, I do not deal with it whatsoever. My specialty is numerology and astrology only, and that's what I'm sticking with. If you guys have any questions regarding any of it, you guys want a personal reading, hit me up on my email, shemsuniverse@hotmail.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at Shemsuniverse 8.0, or just leave a comment for me here and I'll reach out to you. All right, but thank you guys so much for the time today. That's it. I'll be back tomorrow with the next birth number video, which will be birth number 2 in life path 2 or 11. Thank you guys so much. See you soon. Peace.